Well, everybody, welcome back to the Instant Match Reaction. This is where I just give you my instant thoughts on the game. We are going to be going live with the fan forum directly after this. If you want to be involved in that, everybody, what you need to do is sign up to the Patreon. And when you signed up to the Patreon as well, what we'll do is we'll do this as the fan forum anyway, and we're going to have to do the Instant Match Reaction after this, I think. So we'll do that as just a separate video. Mixed up the streams a little bit, but it is what it is. So we're going to be doing this, and then afterwards I'll go live and do something. Maybe with regards to it being something else. We'll wait and see. Right. Okay. Well, without any further ado, we'll get Steve in the building. Steve, mate, how you doing?
All right, mate. How are you?
Terrible, that, mate. Wasn't it? Bad.
Shocking.
Yeah. It didn't feel like at all Leeds were sort of in that game. Well, I don't know. Maybe it did feel like we were in that game, but yeah, mate, I was struggling trying to figure out what the plan was in terms of build up. Gilovogi in the middle really, really struggled. Mate, just all ends up wasn't great, was it?
No, not at all. I think one of the things today was the players that came on. Sorry, I'm just switching my phone off. Some of the the players that obviously came into the side today have not had any game time, and that clearly showed today. Their passing wasn't good. Well, some of the passing was good, but just their lack of togetherness, squad connectivity, if that's the right kind of things to say, that was showing today. I honestly thought going into this game it would have been a bit of a battle of the midfield, but bar Rothwell, who gives his all every game, I thought we had very little to offer. Going forward, it was just non-existent. Having said that, it's an FA Cup game. I'm not too fussed. I thought we could have given a bit more, but be that it may, we're at the FA Cup. It's now time to focus on the league.
Is that what it is then? It's just that's what it sort of feels like regarding the FA Cup. It's, I don't know. It's obviously we know it's a prestigious competition in it, Steve, and obviously it definitely will have been back in your day, but it feels like definitely now. Leeds have got to be focused on the prize. Really, that's our second defeat, I think, in 16. It's not too doom and gloom. I mean, currently you've got Watford beating Sunderland as well. That's probably the bigger thing to take from today, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Okay, I've not been keeping track on that. No. Yeah, well, thanks for making me feel old. But no, the glamour of the FA Cup has gone out. I think it's more about the lower clubs now coming in for that big payday, and that's fine. I just think that for us as a club this year, our main focus point has to be getting out of this league. It's a shame really, because the FA Cup always had something almost like a breakaway from what was going on with the league or anything like that. It always gave a bit of a, I don't know, bit of a
like escapism on it.
Yeah, but it has lost its glory. But for me this year, it's all about the league. It's all about getting out of the Championship.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, I think Sunderland have just scored. Just update there, mate. So they've just nicked one back. But I mean, when you're looking at that game in particular, mate, obviously we started. What were your initial thoughts on the lineup? Obviously, Leeds made 10 changes for this one.
Massive. So it's a big ask, isn't it? And I was like, okay, cool. Let's see how we get on. I was, obviously Schmidt needed. We need to see more of him. And I do think there's a player in there. I do. I just think today he was kind of quiet the second half. The first few minutes, I thought, wow, but we've not seen him at all. He's only featured, I think, twice. I can't remember if he's had any more time apart from that. Early on, I thought he was quite lively. Ramazani, so he was his normal self. Good recovery from in around the 6th minute, where I think there was something happening at the back, and he just kind of swerved in, took the ball, and off he went. Gilovogi, I didn't know what to expect. I do think at one time there was a player in there, but he's I don't know. He just looked lost and out of place today. Whatever where whatever his position was, he kept dropping back a little bit. But yeah, I mean, again, it's just that we've got Gilavogi, his experience. We've got Isaac Schmidt, his youthfulness, his technique, his ability with the ball, his ability to pass a ball. I mean, some of his passing, it was proper accurate. And then obviously, Ramazani, we all know why he's not getting in the squad. Obviously, Solomon's keeping him out of the squad. There's an argument that he could go, in the 10 on the right hand side. He could play in the middle, whatever you want to call it. But it's just we're using players that have not been fully utilised in the squad. They've not been in the squad. They've not started in the squad. Yeah. And it's a bit of a tall ask to expect them to. All right. Besides Ramazani, it's a bit of a tall ask for anything to come out of any players who have not had or been utilised to their full capabilities. And I think today it showed massively.
It does make you think as well, like, if Leeds were to go up, which we're all sort of, thinking that's going to happen, and it's not just on the basis of this game, but I think, when you look at that rotation aspect as well, of which at this level, it's more than adequate enough. But you do look at it when you go to the Premier League, don't you, Steve? And you think there's going to have to be some surgery really on this side in terms of it acclimatising to the Premier League, and ultimately been successful up there.
Massively. I think there's going to be a lot of questions. Interestingly enough, I caught your one of your streams this morning, and they were talking about you were mentioning Solomon, and about you were saying I'm a big advocate for Leeds to keep hold of him. I really do. Not whether or not that'd be as a starting position going up, I don't know. Again, it would have to see what. Look, as soon as we get up there, we're going to be offered everything and their mother, and I think, we are going to have to be, and I do think the 49ers will be very, very choosy who they do and don't keep and who they do bring in. I think, and I've had a chat with a couple of the other lads, and we've kind of agreed the same thing. I think we have a knack of finding these little gems, plucking them out of nowhere, especially. Number one, they've got a high ceiling resale. They've got a sell-on value. Also, the age that they are. So I mean, I hope two things. I hope that we can still carry on that and bring in some players who are gonna really shine. Bring in a bit of Prem season, a couple of season Premier League players.
I think as well, one thing I was looking at is, the goalkeeper region. Generally, why is it like, because I've mentioned loads of times, Steve, you'll have heard me just being like, just go and get a goalkeeper, bring Darlow in if he's fine. If they don't think it's good enough, starting Darlow, that's fine. Obviously, he's beaten on his near post today with that deflection. But if it's not Darlow, then go and get someone else. We've always said that on the channel. I just can't understand why. I think they brought in, was it their second keeper, this Roberts, and I can't understand how it feels like every other keeper, like every other team in this division, has better goalkeepers than Leeds United. I just can't understand. Like, that guy today was so good in terms of decision making. Claiming balls from crosses, making the right decisions, like half decent. I mean, I was looking at it, pinging the ball left, right, and centre as well, saving a penalty. And it just feels like the goalkeeper complexion as a whole at Leeds United. Why is it like other clubs can just have that position sorted out as a constant? Do you know what I mean? It's mental, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's one of those things that's baffled us this year. We definitely need a keeper. Darwell, look, I don't know why Darwell's not playing over Melier, but that's a completely different kind of conversation. I don't know. I thought that Burnley keeper that we faced the other night, I thought he was quite good. You've mentioned the guy from Stoke. I think he's definitely worth a mention. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's just one of the. I just think it's let's see where we are at the end of the season. I really do. I think that's it. I really do think we're holding back the purse strings until we do get promoted, and then we'll see a lot of money. I won't say a lot of money, but I do think we'll see a lot of changes in the squad. But the keeper situation, it's gonna go. It's one of those 7 mysteries in the world, isn't it? It's been. We had an opportunity in the transfer window. I don't think we were linked with anybody. Whether the 49ers just said, you know what, let's hope the defense can cope, which again is wrong, because we are going to get caught out at the back. We have been caught out at the back. We got caught out at the back today, and it potentially. I'm trying to stay a bit positive here. Potentially can be a big weakness for other clubs coming to Ellen Road, or when we're away and picking us out at the back. Especially if you're facing opposition where their forwards have got a bit of pace and they get on the brakes and stuff like that. We've seen it happen. But yeah, I'm completely. I don't even have anything to offer as to why we haven't got a kit. But we weren't for a keeper in the transfer window.
Yeah. Full time 2-2, which is good stuff. Sunderland, they've obviously dropped points. I guess probably the one to talk on, mate. I mean, look, we've had horrendous performances across the board here. I thought today, not horrendous, but poor performance. I think Ampadu, there's an argument. Both were down to him. Gilavogi was absent in build-up, absent as a midfield presence, I thought. And then, obviously Joseph wasn't good today. I thought a lot of them were poor today. But it seems like there's a narrative here. Look, Harkon's still pushing us. Joseph as the second coming. Look, there's lots of this today, mate.
And that's because we're not doing anything. That's the reason why. The expectancy, and I get it. I understand the expectancy is that we've got players. Why aren't they doing anything? 100%, I get it. But I think sometimes you've got to see the bigger picture. Again, he didn't get into those places. He didn't get into those spaces up front, didn't Joseph? Ampadu normally plays on the far side. This side, this time he was replacing Rodon. I thought he looked like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
The midfield.
I thought his link up was poor. He wasn't good today. He wasn't good. It wasn't good. It's just that I just find it a bit like strange how it's just all the result is his fault. It's very, very odd. It's a very strange fan base sometimes, but so it can't be all his fault. It's a collective, isn't it? He wasn't good. But I think there was a collective, wasn't there, in terms of Leeds United? We just weren't good enough today. Millwall were good. We've got to give them credit. Millwall were good today.
Yeah, I thought they were. I mean, look, I hate Millwall. I really do. There was no Millwall fans in the chat, by the way, but I've always, it's always been a thing playing Millwall. I actually prefer it when they're in League One. But they turned up today, and that's twice we've played them, and twice they've kind of brought the game. And I think they're about 4 or 5 games unbeaten before they actually came to us today. And look, anybody who comes off an unbeaten run, they're gonna come with confidence. They're gonna bring the game, and they did today. It was just a bad day at the office all round, and it showed. But again, I do want to. It's not an excuse, but I kept coming back to this place throughout the game, and it was about the rotation. The players that came in today should have had more opportunity, through the season. Schmidt is, again, I don't understand why he's not played. Whether he's one for the future or they're still trying to test him out, I don't know. But I think if he gets more, but again, if he comes in, who do we drop again? But today I thought we just weren't there not at all.
Yeah, wasn't great, mate. I think you kind of appreciate, don't you, a little bit of how good the midfield is as well. I think you see sort of every week how they're dropping in between the facilitating build up, and I think today there was just a bit of a hole, wasn't there? I think Joss wasn't looking for it enough. I think when he was on the ball as well, I mean, I tell you what, mate, that extra touch he had where he went into that guy's leg, he was high, and that was all sort of set up really by 2 poor touches from him, 2 big touches. And I think he is that 10-minute man, isn't he, to calm things down, to maybe bring on a bit of a physical presence. I'm not sure he's that guy in games like this. I expected him to start, to be honest with you. I actually said on one of the other streams, actually, that it might be Gruev and Rothwell. I thought that's what he might do. the rotation makes a lot of sense with Gilavoggi in there and Rothwell, but I thought he might go Gruev and Rothwell just to get Gruev into it a little bit more, but he didn't do that. But it felt like there was a big difference today with Gilavoggi in there, I thought.
Today's one of those games where Gruev should have, judging from what we've seen, should have possibly started. That tackle that Gilavoggi made, it was nasty, it just wasn't good. But I think, full credit to Rothwell for trying to do his bit, trying to run. He is a workhorse, isn't he? And that's, he likes to get stuck in. He likes to run. He likes some of the balls. I think he played just before the end of the game. He placed the ball over the top, towards the back end, and it was just beautiful. I think there's an argument that we should have brought on the subs a little bit earlier. Again, but you know what? I'm not. Look, I'm glad we're at the FA Cup. It's just something else that we, out the way that we can now focus getting back onto the Premier League. But yeah, I would have gone with Gruev today, definitely. I think Gruev would have made a bit more of a difference, I think, in midfield.
Do you think Joseph should have made that penalty his?
Yeah. Stroud, and I'm not saying I had a funny feeling he wasn't going to go in. I can't see it in the future, but you're 2-1 down.
2-0.
Sorry, it's 2-0 down. Defenders shouldn't be taking penalties, in my opinion. And I thought when he did that stop-start, I mean the keeper had he had it covered. He knew where it was going to go. But Pascal, as much as I like him, he shouldn't be taking penalties. Even though he's had one before, he's had an opportunity before and he's taken it and he got in the back of the net. But yeah, I mean, but saying that, he has made 150 appearances today, which is a nice little event for him,
Yeah, but, exactly, mate. And there is positives today. It's like, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. It's not nice. We don't like seeing Leeds lose, of course we don't. But at the end of the day, personally, I think you've seen in there maybe sort of Nonto could do a job in the number 10. I think that as rotation is something at least today we've seen a little bit more of. Whether or not he's been great is definitely another conversation, of course. But at least you've seen sort of Farke, put wingers in the 10. We've seen it with Solomon a little bit earlier on. We've seen it with Nonto now, which is good. Obviously, wasn't great, but I think he's been doubled up on a lot in there, Steve, to be honest with you. And yeah, obviously, he got the penalty, didn't he? Created a few decent chances. But yeah, we had the two Ramazani efforts. Chambers struggled, I thought. I don't understand why we're building up on that right-hand side. That made no sense for me from Farke. I don't understand why we're building up on that side. But then you look at the other side and Byram's never offering anything with Ramazani. However, when you do bring it back to it, I still think we probably created the more chances. And it's a game of which Millwall were good. Millwall won the game 2-0. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Definitely, I think Millwall definitely pinned out. Made a point of pinning out Nonto. Definitely closed them down. But if you look at it all down that wing with Byram and Firpo, Ramazani when he was out there, Solomon close down. They never give him any room to sniff. You know what I mean?
Packed that midfield out, didn't they? They really packed it out.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And to be fair, fair play to them. They knew it. They knew what they were up against. Be that be a second string side, if you want to say that. But still, when they came on, they closed them down. They didn't give them any room. It was man on man. But I think Nonto today ran into a lot of traffic constantly. There's an argument to say that he even caused the first Millwall goal as well. But I think he held on to the ball a little bit too long. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a bit muddled, wasn't it? It was a bit muddled throughout the game. We didn't really create anything. Just having a quick look at the XG right now, which is something that we all love looking at, don't we, Steve? But the XG right now for the game and just where Leeds created a little bit, I guess I kind of thought, obviously, minutes played, he had 3 shots, didn't he? 0.25 XG. XG and assist, he was quite high as well. So he's probably, I think he was the most in the Leeds team in this game.
Yeah.
He was the most. So he created the most in this side. So actually, weirdly, the second most in the entire game, that Femi Aziz, who scored twice, was top to Willie Nonso. So yeah, not an ideal game, mate, has to be said. But go on, give us a few positives before getting some of the comments.
We're at the FA Cup, and I'm glad. We've got a couple of tricky games coming up, and I think we're obviously saving ourselves for that. I do think we're on course. I do think we'll win the league.
Schmidt as well. Schmidt played well, didn't he?
Yeah, Schmidt played well. Early doors. He came on. Not came on when he started. He was very, very efficient. I like his passing. I think his passing is very, very fluid. And whoever he's passing to, they get the ball. That's simple as that. There's definitely something there with him. There's obviously a reason why they're not playing him, but I think I think he did well from what we saw. He did all right. Bit quiet in the second half. Signs of Nonso. He's itching to get back in. You can see it. But yeah, all in all, not our worst performance, but we've still got better things to come. We've still got bigger fish to fry, and that's what we've got to focus on and keep our focus on.
That's it, mate. Well, I've done this the complete wrong way around for a clown. But what I'll do is I'll leave it there, mate, when it comes to the fan forum. But I'm going to head over now and do a video where I'll respond to a little bit more of the comments. But it's been good to get your thoughts in, Steve. Guys, make sure you like this video, and I'll be heading on over now to the instant match reaction. So make sure you stay on this, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.